Hi, I'm Scott Sanders, Director of Operations here at the San Antonio Museum of Art, and I'd like to take you on a little tour today of our great building. It used to be a brewery, but it has been repurposed into an art museum. As far as I know, first one in the world to have ever been done that, and it's a great piece of architecture and a great piece of repurposing an old industrial site into a modern fixture. This is the Great Hall, and the original museum starts all the way down in that corner, runs all the way down to that corner right there. This is the West Tower, this is the East Tower, and this is the sky bridge that connects the two of them. I'll be showing you that later. One of my favorite things, do you see that right up there? Where the stone lintel and the discolored brick is? There used to be a carved limestone insignia for the museum. It was taken down when they remodeled the building. We'll get the chance, I'll show it to you later. Those things sticking up above, the top of the towers, the top of the Cowden, here on the Denman, that's crenellation. It's crenellated. They're purely decorative on this building, but they're everywhere. Here we have the remnants of a chimney that extended way up. You could see the base of the chimney, what's left of it now. This is what they used to supply the power for the museum, because on the other side of that wall is the Denman Gallery, which used to be the power plant. The assumption is that the top hole that's been filled in is where they supplied the fuel, and the bottom hole is where they cleaned the ashes out. And if you look around here, there's red brick everywhere. And my understanding is that this red brick came from that chimney when they took it down. This is the stables. The front entryway there is infilled. This used to be where they kept the horses, the wagons, the hay, the feed for the animals. We're currently using it as an education building. You'll notice that it has 2 star windows and then the star brackets for the sounds that hold the building together. These windows are just amazing. Now, these are the railroad tracks that they use to ship the beer out and to ship materials in to make the beer. They ran down here all the way down to the hops house, and there was a line that went out to the front of the building all the way down to Austin Street where the rail yard was. We were talking about the railroad tracks earlier, and this is the warehouse here. And you'll notice that the 2 large doors for the warehouse are not at the same level as the little people door there. And that's because that's the height of a rail car so that they could roll the barrels and things inside the rail car without having to raise and lower them. That's the reason those doors are at that level, and this is the warehouse that they used to store the beer in. If you look on the top of this tower, you'll see a coppered scupper. And it's basically where the roof drains into, and then there's a downspout below. It's solid copper. You'll see the kind of greenish tinge on the lower pipe for the one on the big one, but they're everywhere on this building. This is the bridge that used to be between the East Tower and the West Tower at the museum. They took this bridge down and built a new sky bridge, fully enclosed glass sky bridge. This thing used to sit 50, 60 feet over there for decades, and it wasn't reused until they redid this section of the river. They installed this bridge here across the river. Again, crenellations on the top of the 2 towers. See, they match the brickwork on the top of our towers. I mentioned to you earlier that we used to have a logo built into the side of the building. Well, this is it. This is carved limestone. It's in individual pieces. You can see the mortar joints. And when they redid the museum, they took it down for some reason, and it ended up somebody's backyard. Years later, they contacted us and wanted to know if we wanted it back. And of course we did. So it ended up here, but it is extremely heavy, extremely thick. It's all carved limestone. You can see the different blocks and the pieces that are fit together. It's one of my favorite parts of this museum. This is our glass elevator. We have 2, one in the East Tower, one in the West Tower. This thing is very unusual because when it was built in 1981, glass elevators were not a very common thing. I'm not even sure there were any, but we have one here. And it allows you to view the museum as you go up from floor to floor. And it has details like the springs in the bottom are chrome plated, the pulleys are chrome plated, the counterweights are chrome plated. And it basically looks the way it did back when they originally built it, with a few exceptions. We've had it modernized since then. And they've added a few lights and some safety details. But it's gorgeous. It's one of my favorite things in this museum. Right directly in front of it, you'll see that the ceiling. Now the ceiling is coffered, it's rounded off, and it's a series of rounded spaces, and that's because those are cast in place concrete floors. They're held up with steel beams and these cast iron columns. This building is all masonry, freestanding, and if you were to take all these concrete floors out, all these columns and all these beams, the exterior walls of this building would still stand. There's a lot of bricks in this place. Now, we had mentioned before that they had taken the original iron bridge down from here and then built this new modern sky bridge that is glass. And if you look right over there, you'll see the original iron bridge. This is a great place to check out the skyline of San Antonio.